If we remember, a ratio is just comparing two different things. Using division, we can write it three different ways. It can look like a fraction. It can be written with the two dots, the colon, or it can have the word two. They all mean the same thing. We have to put them in the right order that it asks for, though. So number 2 tells us that Erin is making a quilt for a craft fair. The quilt is made with 4 different fabric colors as shown in the picture. Complete the tape diagram to model a ratio of the number of blue squares. So we want blue first and white second. So I can see 3 blue squares. So we're going to get our 3 blue squares. And I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white squares. So blue to white looks like that. So now this wants us to complete the statements to describe the ratio of blue to white. Blue comes first, white comes second. So blue is 3, 2, white is second, 3 to 5. So I'm going to have you go ahead and complete the colon and complete the fraction here. So for every 3 blue squares, there are 5 white squares. So every time we have 3 of these, we'll have 5 of these. So if this was just like one piece of it and they repeated it, every time we have 3 of these, we have 5 of these. So now it wants us to write a part to whole comparison. So we have to pick a part of the quilt and compare it to the entire quilt. We're going to use some ratio language. So you're going to pick a color. I'm going to go with green. So 1, 2, 3. So for every 3 green, there are blank total. Now you can pick a different color if you would like. You can pick red, blue, white. So how many of that color, and then how many are there total in the quilt? Okay, now D tells us for every small green square, so every means write 1. So I have 1 small one, that there are 2 large ones. I can see 1 little one, 2 big ones. Does this mean that 1 out of every 2 green squares is small? So we're comparing the small squares to the total squares. So we want small compared to the total. So this is small, this is large, this is large. If I want the total, I need all of these. So this person is saying that this should be 1 to 2. Is that correct? Well, how many small can we see? I can see 1 small, but how many total green squares are there? There should be 3 total green squares. So this person is no, they're not correct. So you need to go ahead and tell me why 1 out of 2 is not correct when I want the total. It should be 1 out of how many? So tell me why 1 out of 2 is not correct here, and we want 1 out of 3. Let's go ahead and complete all of those and get that checked off.